Good morning. Myself, POORNA CHANDRA, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Global Academy of Technology, Bengaluru. So now we shall understand Module 3, Product Development under PLCM. So under that we shall understand the components of decision support system. Three major components of decision support system are: number one, the database; number two, the model; number three, the user interface. The user themselves are also important components of the architecture. So DSS components majorly are classified as: number one, inputs. So inputs can be in the form of factors, numbers, and characters to analyze. Next, user knowledge and expertise. So inputs requiring manual analysis by the user. Number third, outputs. So transform data from which DSS decisions are generated. So to take proper decisions, outputs are very important through different analysis. Next, number four, decisions. So result generated by the DSS based on user criteria. Next, the components of DSS. So number one, as we explained, number one, database management system, so also known as DBMS. So to solve a problem, the necessary data may come from internal or external database. So two kinds of data are there. One is internal database, other one is external database. In an organization, internal database are generated by different applications, and similarly external database so will be coming from different sources, such as through internet, newspapers, databases like financial, marketing, human resources, etc. So from all these resources, the database or input will be collected. Next, model management system. So here it stores and accesses models that managers use to make decisions. Such models are used for designing manufacturing facility, analyzing the financial health of an organization, forecasting demand of a product or service, etc. So all this comes under model management system. Next, user interface. So what is this user interface? So it supports tools like online help, pulls down menus, user interfaces, graphical analysis, error correction mechanism, facilitates the user interactions with the system. So we shall understand this in depth in further slides. So decision support system components can be explained as below. Other computer based systems. Next, we get input from external or internal data, so that is been transferred to data management system. So again it is interconnected with the model management system. So these two together connected with knowledge management, so further link with user interface. So finally the decision maker, so the decision will be taken by the decision support system. So this is a flow chart of a decision support system components. Next, so if you go in depth with the components of DSS, so number one, what does this data management system do? So data management system is a database. It is a software package that contains data from various sources, so including internal data from the organization, that is data what we get from the people working in the organization, or the data generated by different applications, and the external data mined from the internet. So we can also collect external data through external sources. The data or information in decision making is very important. So to take any decisions, majorly the input data is very, very important. The database system is responsible for data access and manipulates and manages internal as well as external stored data in databases. So they store all the types of data which will be collected in the beginning stage. To solve a problem, the necessary data may come from internal or external database. External data come from variety of sources such as newspapers, online data services, databases, etc. Moving forward, second one, model management system. So what this actually do? The model management system uses various kinds of mathematical and analytical models. So once we collect the data, next that data will be transformed into different models. It may be mathematical model or analytical model or simulations to represent and analyze complex data, thereby producing the required information. A model predicts the output on the basis of different inputs or different conditions, or finds out the combination of conditions and the input that is required to produce the desired output. So here with the collected inputs, so the different predictions will be made. That's what known as model management system. So they will analyze depending on the input, and they will keep on varying the different factors, and they try to find different outputs or desired outputs. The decision support system may include different models, with each model performing a specific function. Model selection depends on user requirements and the purposes of DSS. So plenty of models are available. So depending on the user requirements and the available inputs, so the different models can be selected to achieve the required output. Commonly used mathematical and statistical models are as follows. Number one, statistical models. So these are, for example, we have the mean, median, mode, and deviations, etc. So these models are used to establish relationships between the occurrences of an event and various factors related to that event. For example, so sales of product to differences in areas. Sale of product to differences in areas, income, season, or other factors. So in addition to the statistical functions, they contain software that can analyze series of data to project future outcomes. Number two, sensitivity analysis. So models are used to provide answers to what if situations occurring frequently in an organization. So during the analysis, the value of one variable is changed repeatedly and resulting changes on other variable are observed. For example, the sale of a product is affected by different factors such as price, expenses, advertisements, number of sales staffs, productions, etc. So using sensitivity model, the price of the product can be changed repeatedly to ascertain the sensitivity of different factors and their effect on sales volume. Next, number third, optimization analysis models. So these are used to find optimum value for a target variable under given circumstances. So they are widely used for making decisions related to optimum utilization of resources in an organization. Next, forecasting models. So these are the various forecasting tools and techniques which can be used. So including the regression models, time series analysis, market research methods, etc. to make statements about the future or to predict something in advance, like sales forecasting. They provide information that helps in analyzing the business conditions and making future plans. So with these forecasting models, we can predict the future of the product in advance. Lastly, the backward analysis sensitivity models. So the name indicates backward analysis. So this is also known as goal seeking analysis. So the technique followed in these models is just opposite to the technique applied in sensitivity analysis models. In place of changing the values of variables repeatedly, here the target value is first fixed, and then depending on the target value, to achieve that target value, the other variables will be continuously changed to finally get the target value. So this is known as a backward analysis. So by which the target can be fixed. So to achieve that target, the different input can be varied. Next, the third one, user interface. So what does this user interface mean? So it is an interactive graphical interface which makes the interaction between the decision support system and its users. Right? It displays the results or output of the analysis in various forms such as text, table, charts, or graphics. The user can select the appropriate option according to his requirements. So you can check out this flow chart. So here we have the database management, knowledge based subsystems, model management system. So these are linked with user interface management system, again connected with the natural language processor with a set of inputs and output. So input with action languages, output display languages. So finally connected to the users and the printers and plotters, right? So this is what known as the user interface. Next we have the characteristics of decision support system. So what are the characteristics we expect from this system? Number one, support for decision makers in semi-structured and unstructured problems. Support for managers at various managerial levels, ranging from top executive to the line managers. Number third, support for individuals and groups. Less structured problems often require the involvement of several individuals from different departments and organization level. Support for interdependent or sequential decisions. So they should take all kinds of decisions, and interdependent decisions also should be taken. Support for intelligence, design, choice, and implementation. That is to approve the design, the choice, and implementing the design. In all these areas, the decision support system should support. Next, support for variety of decisions, processes, and styles. Next, DSS are adaptive over time. Next, what are the applications of this DSS? As mentioned above, there are theoretical possibilities of building such systems in any knowledge domain. So in different domains, so these DSS can work. So a few examples are here. Number one, the clinical decision support system for medical diagnosis. Other example include a bank loan officer verifying the credit of a loan applicant. So here with the help of DSS, we can decide whether the loan can be credited or not for an applicant. Next, an engineering firm that bids on several projects and wants to know if they can compete with their cost. So with the target value available, we can make changes in the inputs and we can analyze that whether the engineering firm can select or bid that project. Next, DSS is extensively used in business and management, executive dashboard and other business performance software allow faster decision making, identification of negative trends and better allocation of business resources. So with help of this DSS, so the business can be improved easily. Other applications, a growing area of DSS application concepts, principles and techniques is in agricultural production. So it is also can be used in agriculture production, marketing for sustainable development. So one of the example, DSS CAT4 package developed through financial support of USAID during 80s and 90s has followed rapid assessment of several agricultural production systems around the world to facilitate decisions making at the farm and policy levels. There are, however, many constraints to the successful adoption of DSS in agriculture. Few more examples. So DSS are also prevalent in forest management. So where the long planning time frame demands specific requirements. So all aspects of forest management from log transportation, harvest scheduling to sustainability, ecosystem protection, so can be addressed by modern DSS. A comprehensive list and discussion of all available systems in forest management is being compiled under cost action forces. A specific example concerns the Canadian National Railway System, so which tests the equipments on a regular basis using decision support system. So problem faced by any railroad is a worn out or defective rails, which can result in hundreds of derailments per year. So but if you proceed with DSS, so it can be reduced. That is, the maintenance of derailment will be easier, so and it can be done successfully. So which all the rails can be derailed can be identified easily, and only those rails can be derailed instead of derailing complete rails. Next we shall proceed with the benefits of DSS. So benefits of DSS are, it improves personal efficiency, speed up the process of decision making activities, so we can take decision in a faster manner, increase organizational control, can take control of all departments, encourages learning and training, speeds up problem solving in an organization. In each and every stage, the decision can be taken to solve the problem in organization. Facilitates interpersonal communication, promotes learning or training, generates new evidence in support of a decision, creates a competitive advantage over competition, reveals new approaches, helps automate managerial processes. So these are the major benefits of DSS. Next, what are limitations of this DSS? So building DSS is often very expensive and complex because people vary in terms of knowledge, ability, personalities, jobs, and decisions they need to take. Next, even though DSS provides data in form of text, graph, images, etc., but the end results will depend on own judgment of the decision maker. So he should take the proper judgment. Next, a computerized DSS may sometimes result in information overloaded. This is a major problem for people involved in decision making. There is plenty of data or information will be collected, and people feel difficult to take proper decisions with that. These are the major limitations of DSS. Next, types of decision support system. So what are different types of decision support system? So number one, communication driven DSS. Number two, data driven DSS. Number third, document driven DSS. Number four, knowledge driven DSS. And number five, modern or model driven DSS. These are the major types of decision support system. So now we shall understand different types of this. Number one, communication driven DSS. So this is also called group decision support system. So communication driven includes more than one person working to solve complex problems. It helps executives, managers to work together as one group to come to the final solution to solve problems. Technology can be used for communication driven DSS like a Microsoft Net Meeting, Groove, etc. So this communication driven DSS helps for group decision support. Number two, data driven DSS. So decision support system include the file drawer system, data and analytics systems, analytical information systems, data storage systems, and emphasizes access and manipulation of large structured databases. So this is what respect to data driven DSS. So how we can manage plenty of data. Next, document driven DSS. So this system assists managers in obtaining and managing unstructured documents. So all kinds of documents can be maintained with help of this, and web pages by integrating a range of softwares, a range of storage and processing technologies in order to provide a complete review of documents and analysis. So number four, knowledge driven DSS. The knowledge driven focuses on knowledge and advise managers to take action on the basis of certain knowledge based analysis. Predefined facts, storage procedures, rules, and limitations are also referred to solve problems. It also has special expertise in problem solving and is closely associated with data mining. Finally, model driven DSS, decision support system model, comes from a variety of fields and specialties and could include accounting models, financial models, representative models, optimization models, etc. So this slide explains the decision support system, its components and types in detail. Thank you.